Hey guys, I'm SageValentine and welcome to my channel of the same name. I wanted to know if you guys have heard of a show on CW called The Messengers. If you haven't, it's definitely time for you guys to tune into this show because this show is definitely not what it seems. There are at least 6 different main characters, each with a story that is soon about to, or a fate that's about to intertwine with one another. All of these people are angels, and they became angels because of some type of energy that cut through them and basically changed them. And it made it seem like they were dead, and they woke up and they were changed people. You have Vera the reporter, who ends up doing some type of story, and she witnesses this crash where it looked like a meteor fell, and then she's out for the count. And then you have Erin, the single mom, who does not want her husband or her ex-husband to have custody of her daughter. She's driving along trying to take the daughter to school, and the energy goes through her. She has a car crash. Then there's Peter, the high school kid, who just seems like any normal kid. He seems to have a girlfriend, well, at least a girl that likes him. And to make a long story short, I think he's on the swim team. He's swimming through the water, and then this energy goes through him. He ends up sinking to the bottom of the pool. Then there is Raul, the informant, who is basically in the middle of some type of mission, or he finishes it, and the next thing you know, he's down for the count once the energy goes through him. And John, the televangelist, is on live television when the energy hits him and he's out. And in the beginning, we meet Rosie, the nurse, who 7 years before the other 5 characters were affected by this energy, she was the first. And she was just coming out of the hospital, and she was happy because she was I think she was working as a nurse, and she was happy that she was getting engaged, everything was going well. Then all of a sudden the energy goes through her, she's out, her friend thinks that she died or something. She ends up waking up as if nothing happened. Some man in black comes behind her, says something about death. The next thing you know, he shoots her 7 times. Alrighty, so there is one extra character, though, that's a main character on the show, and he's basically known as the Man. And he's pretty dark. I equate this character, after watching this episode, as being Lucifer and his whole fall, because he basically, when that so-called meteor fell, that was him. Which reminds me of that biblical story of the angel, I believe was his name, Lucifer, falling from heaven and crashing to the ground, except he kept on going and going and going. But this particular one fell from heaven and crashed. And he is very, very dark, and at the end of the episode, his eyes are turning red. So Vera wakes up. She's trying to figure out what is going on with this meteor, and she and her associate decide to drive closer to the area where the meteor fell. To make a long story short, here comes the government, and they want her to forget about everything that happened. She's not about to do that. Erin, the single mom, after having that car crash, she's presumed dead, basically. Or she's basically announced as being dead. Her daughter's all banged up in the car. Erin wakes up right around the time they are putting her on this stretcher. She jumps up and they're taking her daughter away. Her daughter ends up in the hospital. Her crazy, angry ex pops up. He's a cop. He's all upset. He's blaming everything on her. Come to find out, Erin used to be an alcoholic. So the ex-husband is all of a sudden thinking, well, since she was an alcoholic, she did this on purpose. And then Erin goes to see her daughter, who just got out of surgery. She cries. And when she cries, her tears heal her daughter. And she grabs the daughter and they disappear. You have Peter, the high school kid, who gets in an argument with some guys that were hassling him. And to make a long story short, he gets into a fist fight with these guys and damn near kills the other two, but from what he says, he killed the main guy, because like he slammed him all up against everything. The guy kind of had it coming, considering that he was beating up Peter. Then Raul, the informant, wakes up, and he realizes that the two men that he's with are trying to kill him. He ends up killing them, and then he escapes. Then we learn about John the televangelist, who basically has a message, and he goes live on TV after he wakes up and is basically telling us about the wrath of God and basically trying to say that the end was coming. And his boss didn't like that. His boss was basically kind of chalking this whole situation up to the fact that he woke up from what happened, and come to find out, the boss was sleeping with John's wife, and that little bundle of joy that she's pregnant with is the boss's. Then we see Rose at the end, but not before seeing Vera again, because Vera crosses paths with this strange man who essentially must have killed this poor tow truck driver guy that he stumbled upon, and took his like uniform and everything. And I think the guy's name was like Joseph or John or something. So Vera goes home, I think, to her apartment, and she sees this guy who I'm calling the man because that's how he's listed on IMDb. And this guy basically shows her Michael, because when she woke up after the like whole energy thing, she was saying the name Michael. Michael is basically her son. And in order for her to see her son again, she has to do what this man or demon or the devil basically tells her to do, or the boy is going to die. Then at the end of the episode, basically Aaron crosses paths with Raul because they're all at the same like gas station, because I think Raul got shot. He tried to call his brother on the phone, and the brother didn't pick up the phone, so he was like in the gas station, and Erin and her daughter were leaving, and the little girl kept looking at Raul because his face was like all over the TVs. So what ended up happening was that Raul saw himself, and he got into the car with Erin and the little girl, and they're basically headed to his brother's house. But the coolest part at the end is that we get to see the man sitting in, and the man was the one that threatened Vera, the demonic guy, who actually, on a side note, played Jesus on Son of God, that movie that I didn't see yet, but that movie, yeah, he's sitting in this hospital room, and in this room is Rosie, or Rose, the girl, the nurse who got shot, and his eyes change color. Next thing you know, she moves her finger, and that's it. So will I be tuning into this show every week? Yes, because I like the CW shows. One reason I really like this show is because it spans the age gap. It's not just about like teenagers. It's not just about 20-somethings or 30-somethings. It seems like it's like 30-somethings, teenagers, and then 20-somethings. So it's, I guess you have a character for everybody, and I'm really looking forward to the next episode. I'm so glad that I tuned in, and if you have not watched it, definitely watch it. It's something else, and it's a different type of supernatural show, because usually, I'm used to seeing demons and vampires and werewolves, so to see angels is pretty cool. And after watching The Leftovers, I was like, I gotta watch this show, because everybody was saying it was like the critics were saying it was a more subdued or more of a PG-13 version of The Leftovers, but I think that both shows pretty much stand on their own, and I'm not gonna compare them both because the storylines are so different but so good. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. You all take care. Don't forget to rate this video, leave your comments about the pilot and what you think so far, and hit that subscribe button below. Check me out, Google+ and Twitter, SageValentine. Until next time, until my next review of either The Following, The Red Road, or Survivor. Bye, guys. I love you all. I'm in the middle of Camp NaNoWriMo, but I'm definitely going to stay on top of these reviews, and I'm going to get them all done. Bye, guys. Bye.